if nothing in your life has ever been an accident? Not the job you lost, not the person you met on a random Tuesday, not the book that fell off the shelf and landed open on a page you needed to read. What if all of it, even the part that looked like failure, was the universe trying to hand you a message? And what if the only reason you have missed most of these messages is simply that nobody taught you how to read them? That's what this video is about. By the end, I'm going to give you a practice, a really usable exercise that will start opening your perception so wide that the world around you begins to feel like it's talking directly to you. Because it is. But first I need to tell you a story, several actually, because what I'm about to share didn't come from a book. It came from a life, mine. And I suspect it will feel uncomfortably familiar to yours. My name is Tony Thoth Wallenius. I'm a mystic, a reality guide, the author of The Intention Game, and what I call a lifestyle investor, someone who invests in the experience of being alive. I have also had about a dozen other identities over the course of my lifetime. Some I chose intentionally, some I drifted into without realizing. And honestly, none of them are who I really am. And none of them are who you really are either. This life is a play. And just like you can change your clothes, you can change your identity. The question is, are you choosing yours? Or is it being chosen for you? I'll go deeper into identity in another video, but I wanted to start here, not to impress you with labels, but to do the opposite, to show you that the moment you stop gripping your identity so tightly, something much freer begins to emerge. And that freedom is what today is really about. I have been fascinated lately by the idea of the Philosopher's Stone. If you don't know the legend, the Philosopher's Stone was said to be the ultimate alchemical substance, the thing that could transform any base metal into gold, the thing that held the secret to eternal life. For centuries, the greatest minds in history searched for it. Not just a metaphor, like literally obsessively search for it. And when you really sit with that, when you ask why, the answer is both simple and kind of devastating. The deepest fear of every human being who has ever lived is the fear of death. The pharaohs of the Egypt embalmed and preserved their bodies so elaborately, not out of vanity, but because they genuinely believed it would allow them to continue living in some form beyond this one. Some prepared their tombs like second homes. They wanted to wake up. Many cultures speak of reincarnation. You must heard this word. Some practices teach you to remember your life so you can pick up exactly where you left off in the next one. Even the health industry, worth hundreds of billions of dollars today, is the modern version of the same ancient obsession. We are always reaching for more life, more time, more expansion. Now, are there masters who have lived for hundreds of years? Are there people who can exist without eating? There are those who claim this. And I'll be completely honest with you. I haven't met any of them. I have no personal proof. So for me, and perhaps for you, these remain stories. Beautiful stories, but stories I can't yet hand you as lived truth. What I can give you is something I have witnessed, something I have lived, something that might actually be more mystical than eternal life. Because it's available to you right now in this body, actually your body, in this lifetime. And it starts with understanding how the universe communicates. Not so long ago, I was driving in a car through Spain with my wife and my daughter. We were just talking the kind of easy, wandering conversation that happens on long drives, and somehow we ended up looking up the meaning of names. My wife's name is Tara, T-A-R-A. In Sanskrit, Tara means star. More specifically, she who guides. Tara represents someone who helps others move from darkness into clarity. Someone who helps people find direction. Well, she works as a therapist and author. She has spent her entire adult life helping people navigate the hardest transitions of their existence. Coincidence? I don't think so anymore. Because there is more. Tara also means the mother of liberation. So there she is, my wife, born with a name that literally means a star that brings light, direction, and liberation to others. And that is precisely what she does every day without even thinking about it. The universe has sense of humor, and it is not so subtle. Then there is our daughter. We thought very carefully about what to name her. Not because we were superstitious, but because we understood something. In many cultures, the name given to a child is considered a kind of destiny, an energetic blueprint they carry through life. We named her Annabella. Bella from Latin and Italian means beautiful. Annabella means beautiful grace. Her second name, Jasmine, carries the symbolism of flowery blossom, beauty in its most natural form. But the story behind Jasmine was actually ours. Princess Jasmine from Aladdin. She is a princess who lives in a palace where everything looks perfect from the outside, and yet she wants the real world. She wants the truth. She doesn't want to follow the rules that don't make sense. She wants connection, not performance. That is our Bella now. Down to earth, real, free. Exactly as she was named to be. And then I looked up my own name. Tony, a shortening of Antonio, Spanish and Italian in origin. And when I looked at the meaning, I sat with it for a long time. Priceless, valuable, worthy of praise, invaluable one. Well, we live in Spain. Our neighbors are Italian. My name, which I was given at birth in Finland, carries the bloodlines of the exact cultures I would one day move into and call home. I'm not telling you this to be poetic. I'm telling you this because this is what synchronicity feels like when you start to notice it. It's not lightning from the sky. It's not a voice in your head. It's these quiet, precise moments where life shows you unmistakably that something much larger than coincidence is at work. When I was a child, maybe 7, maybe 8, I became fascinated with ancient Egypt, the pharaohs, the pyramids, the hieroglyphs. No one around me shared this interest. There was no reason for it, no documentary, no teacher who had inspired it. It simply arrived in me like a knowing. Around the same time, my stepmother said something to me that I never forgot. She said almost casually, "You should be a writer." I was under 10 years old. I didn't know what to do with that. But the sentence stayed. I didn't actually write anything significant until adulthood. But when I did, when the pen finally found my hand, it felt less like a decision and more like return. Like I was picking up something I had set down a long time ago. Like it was always meant to be. Over the years, I encountered Thoth, the Egyptian god of writing, wisdom, magic, said to be born from Thoth alone, not from the physical union of two beings, but from pure mental creation. The keeper of the emerald tablets, the intelligence behind the tarot cards, before they were reduced to prophecy, the architect of a system meant to guide humanity toward consciousness. I visited Egypt twice. I found myself thrown into the study of symbols, tarot, NLP, clinical hypnosis, and only later realized they were all in some way branches from the same ancient root, thought. It turned out had been following me my entire life, or perhaps I had been following him. When you become aware enough, you stop calling things coincidences. You start calling them invitations. And writing with pen and paper, which Thoth considered sacred, is something I still practice for the things that matter most to me. There is a reason for this beyond tradition. When you write by hand in cursive, your brain engages more neural pathways than when you type. The body participates in the creation. The intention travels through the nervous system, through the hand, through the ink, onto the page. It becomes real differently. I invite you to try this, but that is not the practice I have for you today. The practice I'm about to give you is something else entirely. The psychologist Carl Jung spent years documenting what he called synchronicity, meaningful coincidences, moments where inner experience and outer events align in ways that defy conventional probability. Not everything is connected, he said, but some things are connected by meaning rather by cause and effect, and those connections are real. They are not illusions, they are language. Here is what I know from my own life. The universe is not a dead machine you move through. It is a living intelligence you move with. And it is communicating with you all the time through the name your parents gave you before they knew who you would become, through the stranger who says the exact sentence you needed to hear, through the butterfly that appears at the precise moment you are thinking about someone who has passed, through the book that falls open to the right page. These are not accidents. They are signals. But here is the crucial thing. And this is what separates people who feel supported by life from those who feel abandoned by it. The signals were always there. The only thing that changes is your awareness of them. This is why in my book, The Intention Game, the first step before anything else, before intention, before alignment, before transformation is awareness. You cannot change what you cannot see. You cannot receive what you are not open to. And you cannot co-create with a universe you believe is indifferent to you. Awareness is not passive. It is an act of radical attention. And when you practice it, really practice it, life begins to feel completely different. One more thing before the practice. The universe is infinite. It is expanding in every direction always, which means you will never arrive at the end of understanding it. You will never fully master it. And that is not failure. That is invitation. You're not here to reach a destination. You are here to expand outwardly and inwardly, endlessly. The journey doesn't end, it deepens. And right now, in this moment, you are the universe looking at itself through two human eyes and deciding to wake up a little more. Here is the practice. It's simple, but do not let the simplicity fool you. If you do this for 7 days with attention, something will shift in how you move through the world. I'm not saying this lightly. The synchronicity awareness exercise. 7 days. The first day, open a journal, paper, not phone. Every morning, before you look at a screen of any kind, write one sentence at the top of the page. Today, the universe is speaking to me. I am listening. That's it. You are setting your receiver before the day begins. The second step, carry one question through your day. Choose something you want guidance on. A decision, a direction, a situation. Do not force it. Don't ask for a sign every 5 minutes. Just hold the question lightly, like something you placed in your pocket, and trust is there. Third step. Notice 3 things that feel unusual. Not dramatic, unusual. A word someone says that you were just thinking. A song that plays at a moment that feels almost too precise. An animal that appears and holds your gaze. A number that keeps showing up. Do not explain them away. Just notice and write them down. The fourth step. At the end of each day, write what you noticed. 3 to 5 lines. What were the synchronicities? What might they mean in response to your question? You are not looking for certainty. You are building a relationship with a language. The fifth step. On a day 7, read the whole week back. Do not do this before day 7. Wait. And when you read it, look for the thread, the pattern across 7 days. You will find something that was being communicated to you the entire time, that you could not have seen day by day. This is how you learn the language, not by studying it, by listening for it. And once you start hearing it, once you have even 1 week of evidence that the universe responds to your attention, something changes in you that is very difficult to undo. You stop feeling alone in your life. You start feeling connected. And that feeling, that is the beginning of everything. Now, I want to leave you with this. I grew up in Finland. Nothing about my childhood suggested the life I'm living now. Nothing in the external circumstances of my early years pointed toward freedom or warmth, or the particular kind of adventure that has become my daily existence. And yet, looking backwards, every single thing was pointing exactly here. The name I was given, the books that found me, the teacher who said casually, without knowing, she was planting something permanent. You should be a writer. Your life is the same, every version of it. The struggle that felt like punishment, the detour that felt like failure, the loss that made no sense at the time. All of it was preparation, communication, invitation. The life you want is not waiting for you somewhere in the future. It has been trying to reach you this entire time. You just have to learn to read the messages if you want to go deeper, if you want the full framework for how to move through the world as a conscious creator, rather than someone life happens to. That is exactly what my book, The Intention Game, is for. The link is below. Start there. And if you do the 7-day practice, really do it. Come back and tell me what happened. I read everything because your story matters. Not to me, to you. Go notice something. The universe is already talking.